I'm Sham, and I'm back with a brand new track. Check out that hat. Pretty cool, right? And here is my surroundings. I am showing the reality of being a full-time hobo now for 5 years. And I think experience is relevant and pertinent. That's why I mention it. You don't just want to listen to anybody, right? 39th train hop this year, 63 overall. Before that, I extensively rubber tramped, so we're talking about 42 states. So for all intents and purposes, I've been there and done that, seen every sort of environmental situation. There you have it. Am I better than anybody? No, absolutely not. I mean, human worth, I think, is based on being genuine. And as long as you're a genuine person, you should get respect, and you have my respect, absolutely. And I've been very fortunate to meet a variety of characters who fit those parameters, and I appreciate you guys. I appreciate your support, and keep doing your thing. So really, for me, this discussion is about kind of portraying the reality of this entire subculture of being a hobo, and it involves train hopping because, again, I've done that extensively, and I think that's more so kind of the one I want to kind of touch on because of recent unfortunate events. So here we go. I ride in a certain style that I would say is more traditional, is more plain, is more raw. It's more of a point of view. I am a solo hobo, and it's as tough as it gets. I mean, I don't have some sort of support network. I don't have a place I can lay my head at. And I think it really kind of parlays into this idea of legitimately showing the lifestyle. This is kind of going to be tough to say, but you have certain individuals who are going to ride a way that you disagree with, right? A ride of more so risks, and maybe viral clips, right? They want to generate exciting media. And what is social media about? It's about generating media. So I totally understand that. And I truthfully vibe more with that. I think, there's a certain passion behind that. But at the same time, I got to be real with you guys. That's not the reality. I spent 3+ months cumulative time in bushes just waiting for a train. And I've spent over 3 months on an actual train. I've got over a dozen rides that are 2.5 to 3 days in length. This is more boring than you would imagine. I do this because of those peaks, because of that exciting time when you get to see this rare scenery of places that you get to travel with, right? But we need to admit that this is not, in terms of clips, what it's portrayed to be. You're going to be doing it for various reasons. I'm just trying to say that I'm showing it in the most pure way, and it's not going to be exciting, nor do I want it to be. Let's be real. We do not want more people riding the rails. There is zero benefit to current riders in terms of encouraging this and also being real about the risks. So we go into this acknowledging that. And for me, if I mess up, it's on me. And I'm going to admit that 24/7, 365 for the rest of my life. There ain't no bullshitting that. If something unfortunate happens, we also need to show sympathy towards that situation, and we need to acknowledge that that could have happened to us, right? Don't go shitting on somebody because of an unfortunate mistake, an unfortunate incident. Try to say, listen, maybe I don't agree with you, but I care for you, and I feel bad as a result. But don't go posting that stuff on somebody's profile who suffered an unfortunate event. You can air that grievance on your own profile and say, listen, I disagree with your methods, but I care for you. And people who care, they're going to actively look out for your health. They're going to reach out and say, listen, my man, I care about you, and I think maybe you should kind of tone things down. because a hater is going to say maybe the same thing, but in a negative connotation, or they may totally disregard that. And then when your demise happens, they're like, oh, hey, like, F this, F that, blah, blah. And it's just not the right way to go about it. So again, kind of to backpedal, I do think more kind of traditional, so-called boring ways of going about this should be acknowledged as well, because again, it's the reality. Not everything is going to be exciting. I purposely put myself in situations where I am showing the struggle, and I know it's counterintuitive, and it opens me up to certain criticism, so to speak, because people, it's taken this long and blah blah, and there's reasoning behind everything. Trust me, like, if you've hopped enough and you have enough experience, you understand. So if you're out there criticizing not just me, but people who, again, have unfortunate situations, it's because you haven't gone through enough. If you've gone through enough, you're going to face discomfort. You're going to face unfortunate situations. You're going to face that struggle. So I'm going to do that till the wheels fall off, till I decide that I'm not going to be doing this full time. But until then, I'm going to show the reality, and also I'm going to be respectful towards those people who go about it in a different way. I always like to reference a certain quote about that differences in opinion shouldn't determine a friendship. There's people that disagree with me, that may feel that I'm doing things in a certain way that they don't see fit. That's cool. As long as we have respect, that's really all that matters. And a big thing for me has always been empathy. And people are going through certain things, and they may do certain actions and behaviors which reflect that. I've gone through times when I'm like, is my life really worth that much? Maybe I should just say F it and just kind of do whatever and place myself in situations where, may not be desirable. And it is what it is. So, rest in peace to all people who have suffered, who have passed. And again, you can have disagreements based off that, but I'm not going to try to shit on anybody. I'm not going to dim somebody's light in order to shine mine. I'm going to be supportive. So anybody who wants to reach out, I'm always here, and I understand. So kind of the biggest takeaway I would say is that there are those of us that do this full time, and we've been there, done that. It's nice to feel acknowledged, and nice for people to reach out and get an opinion. And also there's no harm. I think there shouldn't be any shame in showing the entire perspective and making yourself be vulnerable, and making yourself show those mistakes, and maybe being open to criticism, but realizing in the long run, no, you're the one that's actually fully living it, and that's about it, So it's kind of a weird blend of topics, I would say. But those of you guys who are out there doing these activities, please be safe. I do care. Feel free to reach out. And if you're going to kind of give an opinion, give it empathetically, and more so do it in private. You don't have to be dramatic about everything. We don't need to create controversy. There's way too much animosity. There's way too much kind of like beef within this community. It doesn't have to exist, and at times you have to say, listen, let me just disregard this. I'm living my life. If you're living your life with enough excitement, if you're doing what you love, you don't need to engage in these behaviors. Just keep doing you. I'm Sham, and I'm out. Peace.